friends, I am Vaibhav Srivastav from Vaibhav E-Learning Academy. Today we are going to continue our topic of biomolecules. This is our part number 4. In today's video, we will be discussing about one of the most important topic, that is proteins. तो आज की इस वीडियो में हम लोग प्रोटीन्स के बारे में लर्न करने वाले हैं और उसमें हम लोग मेन इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग्स हैं जो कि हैं प्रोटीन्स. वी विल बी स्टडीइंग अबाउट व्हाट आर प्रोटीन्स, what are the structures of proteins and what are the uses of proteins. So let's start with the video. In the biomolecules second lecture we learnt about amino acid. Second lecture में biomolecules के बारे में हमने डिस्कस किया था about amino acids और हमने ये जाना था कि the chains of amino acids are known as proteins. So if you take many chains of amino acid and combine them you will get protein. So first of all हम लोग ये डिस्कस करने वाले हैं कि प्रोटीन्स होते क्या है, उनके स्ट्रक्चर्स कैसे बनाए जाते हैं. So let us start. The first one about what is a protein. So first of all, protein is a biomacromolecule. Biomacromolecule. अब ये biomacromolecule क्या होता है? First lecture, in the first lecture about biomolecules, we have discussed there are two types of substrates. First substrates are biomacromolecules and biomicromolecules. The substrates which are coming out of the acid soluble pool, that is acid insoluble pool, that is known as biomacromolecules. So these are biomacromolecules. They are large substances and they are not easily passed out through the funnel. So ये होते हैं बायोमैक्रोमोलेक्यूल्स. इनका साइज बड़ा होता है, इनका साइज होता है मोर देन 10,000 डाल्टन्स एंड ये जो होते हैं वो ये रिटेंटेट में रहते हैं, ये लोग रिमेनिंग रहते हैं, ये फिल्ट्रेट से नहीं पास ऑन होते हैं. सो दे आर रिमेनिंग इनसाइड द फनल. सो दैट इज व्हाई दे आर नोन एज बायोमैक्रोमोलेक्यूल्स. एंड वन ऑफ द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट कैरेक्टरिस्टिक, दे ऑलवेज फॉर्म हेट्रोपॉलीमर. ओके. इन ग्लूकोज और इन कार्बोहाइड्रेट्स में हमने एग्जांपल देखा था. फॉर एग्जांपल गैलेक्टोज इज ग्लूकोज प्लस फ्रक्टोज. ग्लूकोज इज 1 माइक्रोमोलिक्यूल एंड फ्रक्टोज इज 1 माइक्रोमोलिक्यूल. सो ग्लूकोज एंड फ्रक्टोज अगर इनको कंबाइन करें सो वी गेट गैलेक्टोज. सो ग्लूकोज इज एक्चुअली 1 मोनोमर G, फ्रक्टोज इज 1 मोनोमर F. These are 2 monomers. अगर आप इन दोनों को कंबाइन करेंगे then you will form a heteropolymer. Okay. Now if we talk about maltose, अगर maltose की बात करें, maltose क्या था? Maltose was glucose plus glucose. Glucose दोनों same structures हैं, both are same structure. So when you combine them you will get homopolymer. So there are two types of polymers. दो तरह के polymers होते हैं. One is heteropolymer and one is homopolymer. ये बताया गया है कि the proteins are always heteropolymer. Different types of amino acids will combine to form a single molecule of a protein. So this is all about the basic introduction. And one more important point, that proteins are polypeptides. Proteins are said to be polypeptides. Polypeptide means there are a bond of so many different peptides. They have so many peptide bonds. So this was about the introduction of protein. Now let us discuss about the structure of the protein. How are the proteins formed and how are the different types of proteins made? So let us see. So now let us start with the structure of proteins. So we know that proteins are made up of different chains of amino acids. Many chains of amino acid combine to form a protein. Protein कैसे बनता है? ढेर सारे amino acid की chain होते हैं. अगर आप उनको peptide bond से अगर एक साथ ही जोड़ दो तो आप उन्हें proteins बना सकते हैं. How are proteins formed? Let us start. तो उसको देखने के लिए first of all we have to draw the structure of an amino acid. So structure of amino acid is something like this. C double bond O OH. Carboxylic acid and H. H and R. This is amino group. This is the carboxylic acid. This is one alkyl group and this is the hydrogen. This is one structure of a protein, amino acid. Similarly, let me draw the same structure over here. So H N H, C, R, hydrogen, C double bond O, OH, and so on. So that side also it is so on. Here we have n number of amino acids, and here also n number of amino acids. When you bring these two amino acids close up in a close latin, so you can see this. Yeah. OH from this amino acid and H from this amino acid combine to form water. And this water leaves this group. So that is why this bond is known as peptide bond. Peptide bond. तो यहाँ पे क्या होता है, दो अमाइनो एसिड्स हैं, एक अमाइनो एसिड और दूसरे अमाइनो एसिड को अगर साइड बाय साइड रखें तो एक अमाइनो एसिड का OH और दूसरे अमाइनो एसिड का H, ये दोनों कंबाइन करके वाटर बनाते हैं और वो वाटर निकल जाता है, वाटर गेट्स आउट और जो बॉन्ड बनता है उस बॉन्ड को बोलते हैं पेप्टाइड बॉन्ड. सो आफ्टर बॉन्ड फॉर्मेशन अगर इसको हम लोग ड्रॉ करें -H2O तो कैसा बनेगा, CN, C, R, हाइड्रोजन, C double bond O, alkyl group, hydrogen, N, H, continues this side, and here C double bond O, OH continues this side. So the bond between carbon and nitrogen, this bond is known as the peptide bond. So this is actually one structure of a single protein which has two different amino acids. तो यहाँ पे हम लोगों ने अमाइनो एसिड्स लिए हैं. ऐसे इट इज नॉट इम्पोर्टेंट दैट दीस बोथ अमाइनो एसिड्स विल बी सेम बिकॉज प्रोटीन्स इज अ हेटेरोपॉलीमर. तो हो सकता है कि ये एलेनिन हो और एक ग्लाइसिन हो सकता है कि दीज आर सम बेसिक अमाइनो एसिड्स, दीज आर सम ग्लूटामिक एसिड फॉर एग्जांपल. सो देयर आर n number of amino acids combined together to form one single structure that is known as a protein. So this is the basic structure of a protein and this is a heteropolymer of protein. Heteropolymer of amino acids, which is known as a protein. So this is the basic structure of a protein, and this is how the big complex proteins are formed. They take n number of different amino acids and they combine together by using a single bond that is known as peptide bond. And in that peptide bond, there is a water loss. H2O is getting out, and then they form the bond. N number of amino acids combine with those bonds and form a single protein, which is over here, that is a heteropolymer, and this is a polypeptide. This is known as polypeptide. Why? Because this is a peptide bond. This is only two amino acids. There are n number of amino acids. There is one more amino acid over here, so there is one more peptide bond. Even here there is another peptide bond. So there are so many peptide bonds that is why we call them as polypeptides. So this was the structure of proteins. Now let us move on to the functions of proteins and then different types of structures of proteins. So let us see. Now we are going to discuss about the different functions of a protein. Now proteins are actually of many important uses in our human body. Some of the uses are written over here. First of all, they are intercellular ground substances. What is the meaning of intercellular ground substances? Proteins जो होते हैं वो intercellular ground substances होते हैं. So for example, ground substances means the substance or the any material which helps in connecting two or different cells. आप दो से ज्यादा सेल्स को अगर कनेक्ट करने के लिए उसके बीच में कुछ आप सब्सटेंसेस लगाते हो, उन सब्सटेंसेस को बोलते हैं ग्राउंड सब्सटेंसेस. एंड वन ऑफ द एग्जांपल ऑफ इंटरसेलुलर ग्राउंड सब्सटेंसेस इज collagen. After intercellular substances, there are some enzymes. Enzymes are mostly proteinaceous, and one of the example of enzyme which is proteinaceous is trypsin. After that, enzymes, we have some hormones. Now, for a fact, most of the hormones are actually proteinaceous hormones. There are some steroid hormones as well, but some of the hormones, like most of the hormones, are actually proteinaceous hormones. And one of the most important proteinaceous hormone inside the human body is said to be insulin. So what is insulin? Insulin is actually a hormone which is released from the pancreas. Beta cells of pancreas released from beta cells of pancreas. So they are released from the beta cells of pancreas and they help in the lowering down of the blood sugar. So insulin जो होता है वो एक हार्मोन होता है which is made up of protein होता है एंड ये हार्मोन रिलीज होता है पैनक्रियास के बीटा सेल से. ये पैनक्रियास के बीटा सेल से इंसुलिन रिलीज होता है, वो जाकर के आपके ब्लड शुगर को कम करता है. दैट इज व्हाई इन डायबिटिक पेशेंट्स दे इंजेक्ट इंसुलिन हार्मोन. आफ्टर हार्मोन्स वी हैव सम एंटीबॉडीज और वी कैन से प्रोटेक्शन. Protection against pathogens, that is antibodies. Antibodies are mostly made up of proteins. Most of the proteins are actually antibodies. तो जो antibodies होते हैं वो proteins से बने हुए होते हैं and they help in preventing of diseases and even help in protection against pathogen. If there is an entry of a pathogen inside the human body, the human body identifies it as a foreign material and tries to destroy it. That destroying is done by the antibodies which are actually made by the proteins. That process is known as phagocytosis. Perform phagocytosis. And what is phagocytosis? Phagocytosis means cell eating. When one cell eats another cell, then that is known as phagocytosis. Here the WBCs or the antibodies to actually perform the functions of the phagocytosis in the human body. After that we have some hormonal receptors. Hormonal receptors or sensory receptors. There are hormonal receptors and sensory receptors. For example, what is sensory receptor? When you touch something, when you taste something, when you hear something, all pass through some receptors, and that receptors are made out of proteins. And the last one, most important one, is transport of glucose. Transport of glucose. This transport of glucose is facilitated by a protein called GLUT4. GLUT4. What does GLU means? GLU means glucose and T means transport. So transport of glucose is also facilitated by a protein, and that protein is known as a GLUT4 and it helps in transport of glucose across one cell to another cell. So ये होते हैं functions of proteins. Proteins हम लोग की बॉडी में बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट मटेरियल होते हैं, वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट बायोमैक्रोमोलिक्यूल्स होते हैं. उनकी ये सारे फंक्शंस हैं. फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल वो इंटरसेलुलर ग्राउंड सब्सटेंसेस होते हैं, मतलब कि वो कनेक्ट करने में दूसरे सेल्स के साथ हेल्प करते हैं. एंड वन ऑफ द एग्जांपल ऑफ दैट इज कोलेजन. सेकेंड, कुछ एंजाइम्स होते हैं और एंजाइम्स का फंक्शन क्या होता है? ब्रेक डाउन ऑफ फूड करना. वो लोग फूड पार्टिकल्स को तोड़ते हैं. एंड वन ऑफ द इंपॉर्टेंट प्रोटीनेशियस एंजाइम इज ट्रिप्सिन. दिस ट्रिप्सिन इज आल्सो रिलीज्ड फ्रॉम पैनक्रियास. Released from pancreas. Then आते हैं कुछ हार्मोन्स. Some of the hormones, बहुत सारे हार्मोन्स होते हैं. कुछ स्टेरॉयडल हार्मोन्स होते हैं, कुछ मतलब लिपिड्स हार्मोन बाई स्टेरॉयडल, एंड कुछ प्रोटीनेशियस हार्मोन्स होते हैं. एंड वन ऑफ द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट और वन ऑफ द इंपॉर्टेंट हार्मोन्स, ऑल द हार्मोन्स आर इंपॉर्टेंट, सारे हार्मोन्स इंपॉर्टेंट होते हैं. एक इंपॉर्टेंट हार्मोन जो कि ह्यूमन बॉडी के लिए चाहिए और प्रोटीन से बना हुआ है, वो है इंसुलिन. इंसुलिन क्या होता है? इंसुलिन पैनक्रियास के बीटा सेल से निकलने वाला एक हार्मोन है जो जाकर के आपके बॉडी में जो भी ग्लूकोज, फ्री ग्लूकोज सर्कुलेट कर रहा है ब्लड में, उसको उठा करके आपके बॉडी के सेल्स को दे देता है. अगर किसी पर्सन के जो भी ब्लड स्ट्रीम में ग्लूकोज फ्लो हो रहा है और वो सेल्स उसको ऑब्जॉर्व नहीं कर पा रहे हैं, तो ये इंसुलिन जाकर के उन्हें ब्लड में से ग्लूकोज को निकाल करके दे देता है सेल्स को. ये होते हैं द यूज ऑफ इंसुलिन. एंड देन आते हैं प्रोटेक्शन अगेंस्ट पैथोजेंस, एंटीबॉडीज. एंटीबॉडीज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर द डिफेंस ऑफ द ह्यूमन बॉडी. कोई भी पैथोजन अंदर आता है तो उसको डिस्ट्रॉय करने के लिए, हमें पैथोजेंस से लड़ने के लिए हमें कुछ चाहिए एंटीबॉडीज, एंड वो एंटीबॉडीज बने होते हैं फ्रॉम प्रोटीन्स. एंड देन वी हैव हार्मोनल रिसेप्टर्स. अगर आपके पास प्रोटीन की डिफिशियंसी है तो आपको हो सकता है कि कुछ रिसेप्टर्स का मतलब रिसेप्टर्स की कमी हो, एंड ड्यू टू द लैक ऑफ रिसेप्टर्स यू वोंट बी एबल टू सेंस थिंग्स. अगर if someone touches you, you won't be able to feel it. कोई आपको टच कर रहा है, आप किसी टेस्ट को, खाने का टेस्ट नहीं मिल पा रहा है आपको, so that is also due to lack of hormonal receptors or sensory receptors. Then the last one जो कि very important है, transport of glucose, and one of the most important protein for that is GLUT4. GLUT4 क्या है? Glucose transport protein 4, and वो क्या करता है? एक सेल से दूसरे सेल में ग्लूकोज को ट्रांसफर कराता है. ग्लूकोज क्या होता है? ग्लूकोज ऐसा सब्सटेंस होता है जिसको ब्रेक डाउन करके सेल एटीपी बनाता है और एनर्जी. सो दीज आर द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट फंक्शंस ऑफ द प्रोटीन्स. Now let us move on to the structures of proteins. There are 4 structures of protein and we'll discuss them one by one. So let us see. So now we are going to discuss about some structures of proteins. So हम लोग अभी प्रोटीन के स्ट्रक्चर के बारे में डिस्कस करने वाले हैं. As said before, there are 4 types of structures of protein and we will be discussing them each one by one. So let us start with the flow chart. Structures of protein. First one is known as primary structure. Primary structure also known as 1 degree structure. Then we have second one, that is known as secondary structure, which is known as 2 degree. Then we have tertiary structure. Tertiary structure is known as 3 degree, and the last one is quaternary structure. We will discuss about each and every one of them one by one. Primary structure, as the name suggests, primary means the most earliest one. The most basic one is known as primary structure. Then we have secondary structure. Secondary structure also has 2 types. First type is known as alpha helix, and second type is known as beta pleated. So alpha helix and beta pleated. Beta pleated is again further divided into 2 types: parallel and anti-parallel. And then we have tertiary structure, and then we have quaternary structure. So when we move from primary structure to quaternary structure, when we move like this, then we are increasing the complexity. We are increasing the complexity when we are moving from primary to secondary, secondary to tertiary, tertiary to quaternary. As the name suggests, primary means 1 degree, secondary 2 degree, tertiary 3 degree, quaternary means more than 3 degrees. So they are actually increasing in complexity and also increasing in efficiency. Starting off with the primary structure. Now what are primary structure? As the name suggests, primary structures means the structures are very primitive. They are not well developed. They are very basic ones. So before moving on to the actual structures, we have drew the structures of proteins. How was it? It was C double bond O N. Okay, no, H N. H was bonded, so N, yes. Even over here it was N, over here H, yes, C. So one thing, if you realize, this was first terminal, it was like this, H over here, and then over here it is C double bond O, OH. Okay. C double bond O, OH, and over here was an alkyl group, here was an hydrogen. This is one amino acid. Now when we add another amino acid, this H2O gets removed, right? It forms a bond like this. This is a peptide bond. So n number of amino acids are combined to form a single protein. But every protein has one starting point and one ending point, and always the starting point is a nitrogen one, because always the starting point is an amino group. Why? Because every time, what is the structure of amino acid? C R H C O O H and here NH2. This is the structure of amino acid. When you are joining proteins, when you are joining more amino acids, either you are joining from the right side or you are joining from the left side. If you are joining from the right side, then it is continuing in this direction, then also NH2 is the starting one. If you are joining from the left side, then also NH2 will be only in the starting. So this is called as N-terminal, which is usually N-terminal is at the left side. Left side in the sense on the board actually. On the board it is on the left side, and this terminal is known as the C-terminal, which is usually on the right side. Actually this is the right side and this is the left side, but when we are towards the boards, this is going to be our right side and this is going to be our left side. So C-terminal is on the right side and the N-terminal is on the left side. Why did I explain this concept? It is because primary structure helps in identification of the types of amino acid or the position of the amino acids. How is a primary structure? Primary structure is nothing but an see. This is the structure of amino proteins, which is primary structure. This is an amino acid, amino acid, amino acid. So what is this? It means there are n number of amino acids. This terminal is known as N terminal, and this terminal is known as C terminal. तो एक अमाइनो एसिड को अगर आप ढेर सारे अमाइनो एसिड को कंबाइन करेंगे तो एक प्रोटीन बनता है. उस प्रोटीन के हमेशा जो भी लेफ्ट साइड में होगा उसको एन टर्मिनल कहेंगे, जो भी राइट साइड में होगा उसे सी टर्मिनल कहेंगे. प्राइमरी स्ट्रक्चर ऑफ प्रोटीन वो स्ट्रक्चर होता है जो कि एक स्ट्रेट लाइन होता है. इट्स जस्ट अ स्ट्रेट लाइन. आप ऐसे रिप्रेजेंट करने के बजाय यू कैन आल्सो रिप्रेजेंट इट लाइक दिस, एन सी. दिस इज अ प्राइमरी स्ट्रक्चर ऑफ अ प्रोटीन. ओके, नाउ लेट अस राइट अबाउट दिस प्राइमरी स्ट्रक्चर. सबसे पहले they have only peptide bond. They have only peptide bonds. इनमें सिर्फ peptide bonds होते हैं. Now why do I say like that? Because every type of structure should have a peptide bond, right? Yes, every type of proteinaceous structures has a peptide bond, but the primary structure has only peptide bond. As the complexity increases, the number of bonds also increases. तो यहाँ पे इसमें सिर्फ और सिर्फ पेप्टाइड बॉन्ड्स होते हैं. जैसे ही कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी बढ़ता है तो बॉन्ड्स के नंबर भी बढ़ते हैं. अभी इन द सेकेंडरी स्ट्रक्चर हाइड्रोजन बॉन्डिंग किया जाएगा, उसको भी देखते हैं. विल सी दैट. सो दिस हैव ओनली पेप्टाइड बॉन्ड एंड दिस स्ट्रक्चर हेल्प इन आइडेंटिफाइंग द पोजीशन ऑफ अमाइनो एसिड. So first of all, how do they help in identifying the position? Because they are arranged in a straight line. If you see the difference, secondary and tertiary, they are actually like curves. They are like wooden balls, hollow balls. So in that, it is very difficult to identify. But if you look at the primary structure, they are just a straight line. In a straight line, you can identify. For example, here it is amino acid 1, amino acid 2, amino acid 3. Why? Proteins are heteropolymers. They are made up of different types of amino acids. There is no need to be a same amino acid. So if you want to find, for example, in this group, where is lysine? If you ask where is lysine, someone says that the lysine is in the 7th amino acid of this structure. 7th amino acid. Now if someone says you to find the 7th amino acid, you can easily find first amino acid, second, third, fourth, fifth, up to 7th. And that 7th amino acid is the lysine. That is why we say that the primary structure helps in identifying the position of the amino acid. This was about the primary structures. And then one more thing is, it is only a straight line. As you can see over here, the proteins are only a straight line, and so many proteins are available in this form. And one of the important protein which we have discussed right now, that is insulin. Like for example, so now ये अमीनो एसिड क्या होते हैं, प्राइमरी स्ट्रक्चर्स क्या होते हैं प्रोटीन्स के? तो प्रोटीन्स के जो प्राइमरी स्ट्रक्चर्स होते हैं उसमें सिर्फ और सिर्फ पेप्टाइड बॉन्ड्स होते हैं, जो कि ये वाले बॉन्ड्स हैं. सिर्फ पेप्टाइड बॉन्ड्स होते हैं. ये हेल्प करते हैं कि पोजीशन ऑफ अमीनो एसिड आप फाइंड कर सकते हैं. कैसे? अगर आपको कोई देखना है कि अगर आपको कोई एक्स अमीनो एसिड निकालना है और कोई बोलता है आपको कि वो थर्ड पोजीशन पे है, तो थर्ड पोजीशन पे आप देख सकते हैं कि हाँ, ये वाला अमीनो एसिड एक्स अमीनो एसिड है, तो आप इसको आइडेंटिफाई कर सकते हैं इजीली. इट इज अ स्ट्रेट लाइन. दिख रहा है ये एक स्ट्रेट लाइन होते हैं. एंड एग्जांपल है इंसुलिन. प्राइमरी स्ट्रक्चर कैन बी वेल अंडरस्टूड इफ वी डिस्कस अबाउट द अदर स्ट्रक्चर्स. अब प्राइमरी स्ट्रक्चर्स में जैसे ये टर्म आ गया, हैव ओनली पेप्टाइड बॉन्ड. व्हाई? अभी आपको दूसरे स्ट्रक्चर में समझ में आएगा. यू विल अंडरस्टैंड इन द सेकंड स्ट्रक्चर. व्हेन आई ड्रॉ द सेकंड स्ट्रक्चर, देन यू कैन रिलेट हाउ फर्स्ट स्ट्रक्चर इज डिफरेंट फ्रॉम द सेकंड स्ट्रक्चर. वन मोर थिंग, इट इज अ स्ट्रेट लाइन. व्हाई ओनली प्राइमरी स्ट्रक्चर हैज स्ट्रेट लाइन? It is visible that it is a straight line. So this was all about the primary structure of a protein. Now to relate it more perfectly, we have to discuss about the secondary structure of the protein. So let us see the secondary structure. Now, why did we have to evolve into a secondary structure? Proteins, why did they have to evolve? It is because primary structure was not sufficient. Why was it not sufficient? Since it is a straight line, there might be some functions which it was not able to perform. So for performing those complex structures, it needed to modify. And after modifying, we got the second structure, that is known as the secondary structure. Now, in secondary structures, there are two types. One is known as alpha structure, or we can say alpha helix. Alpha helix is something like this. this is the N terminal, this is the C terminal. And then we have beta pleated, in which first one is parallel. Parallel in the sense they are like this. N terminal, C terminal, N terminal, C terminal, and they are attached together. And then we have anti-parallel. It is like this. No, not like this. C terminal. So this is the full concept of secondary structure. First is alpha helix. What is the meaning of helix? If you learn about DNA, we see that DNA has a helical structure. Helical structure means double ladder like, but here it is a single helix. Helix means rotatory spring-like structure is known as a helix. So here we can see that there is a spring-like structure, and this structure is known as a helix. Now we have beta pleated. In beta pleated helix, first one is parallel. We can see that there are two primary structures. Two primary structures, when they come so close, when two primary structures come so close that they start forming another type of bond known as intermolecular. Sorry, here there is intermolecular hydrogen bond. Here comes a second type of bond. Why is it inter? Because this is one primary structure and this another primary structures. Two primary structures are so close that they form a new type of bond inside them, and that bond is known as intermolecular hydrogen bond. Similarly, when you see about anti-parallel, you see that this is only one. See, actually, this is only one primary structure, but it is so long and it is so twisted that it looks like it is anti-parallel. This is one side, this is another side. This is parallel, this is anti-parallel, and again it is an anti-parallel side. Here also you can see one type of bonding. This is known as intramolecular hydrogen bond. Intramolecular hydrogen bond. Okay. This was the whole concept of beta pleated. Now we'll be writing the theory about secondary structure considering the alpha helix, because this is more important than the beta helix, beta pleated. So now talking about the alpha helical structure. First of all, they are more advanced than primary structure. Primary structure was not much advanced, they are more advanced. And then second one, always right-handed or right-hand helixes are formed. Right-handed helixes, it means that all the helix are formed like this. This is correct. If any helix is formed like this, then this is wrong. Always right-hand helix are formed. Now, if you want to see the feel of this, then what is the feel? The feel here is that this is the N terminal, this is the C terminal. Imagine a primary structure, N terminal, C terminal. This primary structure is so long, and then this primary structure is rotated around itself. When you rotate the primary structure, they come so close towards each other, then again one type of bonding takes place, and this bonding is again known as hydrogen bonding. Okay, now question comes, why hydrogen bonding? For why hydrogen bonding, you have to see the structure of amino acid. COOH, NH2, and then we have R group, and then we have hydrogen group. The most important one is this free hydrogen. This free hydrogen, when it comes in contact with fluorine, oxygen, chlorine, nitrogen, FONCl, when they come in contact with these type of elements, they form a separate kind of bond. That bond is known as a hydrogen bond. अब हम लोग को ये पता है कि यहाँ पे बीच में हाइड्रोजन बॉन्डिंग होता है. हाइड्रोजन बॉन्डिंग क्यों होता है? क्योंकि उसका अगर जानना है आपको, तो आपको जानना पड़ेगा कि अमीनो एसिड का स्ट्रक्चर क्या है. अमीनो एसिड के स्ट्रक्चर में एक हाइड्रोजन होता है जो कि फ्री होता है. अगर कोई हाइड्रोजन फ्लोरीन, ऑक्सीजन, क्लोरीन या नाइट्रोजन के साथ कंबाइन करता है तो एक सेपरेट टाइप ऑफ बॉन्ड बनाते हैं, जिस बॉन्ड को कहते हैं हम लोग हाइड्रोजन बॉन्डिंग. सो नाउ there are so many amino acids. One amino acid suppose over here, one amino acid suppose over here. Now there is a chance, always there is a chance, okay? Maybe instead of this alkyl group, what if there was OH, serine? Oh no, this is the glycine, right? Okay. If there was some alkyl group, and that alkyl group, for example CCl4, or you can say for example CH2Cl, CH3Cl. So in that condition, here hydrogen is free, here chlorine is free, or here hydrogen is free. In some case, suppose here oxygen is free. Now when these both are free, they come because they are so close. ये लोग बहुत पास में है और उनका बीच में bonding हो जाता है. There is a bonding formed between them. That bonding is known as a hydrogen bonding. So bond forms like this. And this bond is known as intramolecular hydrogen bond seen along with peptide bond. Now the difference between intra and inter. Intra क्या होता है? Inter क्या होता है? Intra means when inside anything it is happening. For example, here we are saying intramolecular. What is this? This is one molecule of protein. Inside this molecule, when hydrogen bonding is occurring, that is known as intra. And when there are two proteins, or when there are two molecules, and between these two molecules over here, suppose this is one protein, this is another protein. Between these two, when there is something happening between those two, then that is known as inter. Inter means between two, and intra means within one. So that is the difference between inter and intra. Here we can say it is an intramolecular hydrogen bonding because inside the same molecule the hydrogen bonding is present. This was about the secondary structure of the protein. Alpha helix and beta pleated. These are right-handed helixes. Okay, always right-handed helixes. They are more advanced than primary structures. They have intramolecular hydrogen bonding along with the usual peptide bondings. Why do you say along with peptide bonds? Because, of course, here there is one nitrogen, here there is another amino acid. How are they connected? They are connected by using a peptide bond. So we can say that peptide bond is present, and also with peptide bond there is a hydrogen bonding present. After secondary structure, we have two more structures: tertiary structure and quaternary structure. Let us discuss about what is a tertiary structure and what is a quaternary structure. Let us see. Now let us move on to the third type of structure of a protein, and that structure is known as a tertiary structure. Now, before moving on to what is a tertiary structure, let us just draw it. So how do we draw it? Very complex. This is a nitrogen, and this is a C-terminal. This is known as a tertiary protein structure. Yes, this is a tertiary protein structure. It is a very random shape. It can be any type of shape, but this is also one shape. What is important in this is this area. These crevices, these are known as crevices, or the openings or the between gaps. These gaps act as, they actually act as protein receptors. They act as receptors, not protein receptors. Act as receptors. Now, what is the meaning of this acting as a receptor? Receptors, if you see receptors in the sense active sites. What is an active site? When the hormones are released, as we have spoken, what are the functions of protein? In functions of protein, we discussed that the hormones are made up of proteins, example insulin. Now, when the hormones are made up of proteins, we also discussed that the receptors are made up of protein. Here is how the receptors are made up of protein. This is only a receptor. What happens is, suppose for example a hormone is released. Suppose this is one hormone. This hormone has to act on some particular organ. So for acting on, for example, this is a thyroid gland. Thyroid gland is producing parathyroid or parathormone. This has to attack. It has to attack on some gland. For that, what it does is it comes over here and it binds over here. After binding with this, it performs the function. So it is known as an active site. What is an active site? The site which is active to receive some of the hormones or any sensory information. This is a 3D structure. It is much more advanced than 2D structure. Okay, it is a hollow woolen ball like structure. Hollow woolen ball like structure. For example, it is a 3D structure. It is like a ball. It is like a woolen ball, and inside the woolen ball there is so much spaces. Like that is the structure of a 3D structure or a tertiary structure. Now one more important point. It has receptors. These receptors can be sensory or hormonal. So the hormones come. This is a hormone, for example. This hormone comes and binds with this receptor, and after that the functions happen. Here it is an N terminal, it is a C terminal. What we did over here, now just recall the primary structure. N terminal, C terminal. This time we elongated it so long, and then we just coiled it and we jungled it against it. After doing that, we got this structure. This is actually just a 3D protein structure, and when there is a protein structure formed like this, there are some gaps created, and these gaps then specialize to form a tertiary or they form a active site. So क्या होते हैं ये 3D structures? 3D structures होते हैं 3D structure. 3D structure मतलब एक solid गोला, एक बॉल लाइक है, एक woolen ball type things है. इसमें क्या किया आपने, एक प्राइमरी स्ट्रक्चर को लेकर के बहुत अच्छे से घुमा दिया, एक बॉल टाइप शेप में लिया है आपने, उसको हम लोग कहते हैं 3D प्रोटीन स्ट्रक्चर. एक 3D स्ट्रक्चर होते हैं ये ज्यादा एडवांस होते हैं. ऑफ कोर्स ये प्राइमरी स्ट्रक्चर से सेकेंडरी स्ट्रक्चर से एडवांस होते हैं. व्हाई? बिकॉज दे हैव मेनी टाइप्स ऑफ बॉन्ड्स, मेनी बॉन्ड्स present. What are the bonds? So many, like van der Waal bonds, covalent bonds, ionic bonds, peptide bond for sure, and then we have hydrogen bond, and so on. So many bonds are present. यहाँ पे there might be some covalent bond. Why covalent bond? Here there is an alkyl group, here there is an alkyl group. Two alkyl groups के बीच में covalent bond बन सकते हैं. Ionic bond, why? Because there may be some ions, sodium. Because alkyl group can have anything, right? It might have sodium. It might form. It have any ionic compounds may be there. So that is why ionic bonds are formed. Why hydrogen bond? Explained already. Why peptide bonds? Because one amino acid is connected to another amino acid by the help of peptide bond. So इसलिए ये लोग ज़्यादा advanced होते हैं. And then इनके पास receptors होते हैं. Receptors क्या हैं? जब अमीनो एसिड एक दूसरे के ऊपर ओवरलैप हो जाते हैं तो एक स्ट्रक्चर बन जाता है, क्रेवाइज बन जाते हैं, तो होल बन जाता है. होल इन द सेंस मतलब एक छोटा सा एरिया बन जाता है. उस एरिया को हम लोग कहते हैं एक्टिव साइट. वहाँ पे क्या होता है, हार्मोन्स आकर के वहाँ पे अटैच करते हैं. जब वो जाकर के वहाँ पे बाइंड करते हैं तो वो फंक्शन परफॉर्म कर देते हैं अपना हार्मोन. दिस इज द टर्शियरी स्ट्रक्चर ऑफ द प्रोटीन. Now moving on to the last structure, that is known as the quaternary structure. Let us see. So now moving on to the last structure of protein, that is quaternary structure. Now quaternary structure does not mean having 4. It is not a 4 degree. It means that there can be more than 3 degree protein. Now imagine one thing. We had seen the primary or 1 degree structure. What was that? It was just a straight line. Then we took the straight line and then we folded it into helix. After folding into a helix, that became alpha helix secondary structure. Okay. Then we took two big primary structures. We made them too close together and they formed another beta pleated parallel. Then we took a long 1 degree protein structure and then we made it anti-parallel. It became another beta pleated, that is anti-parallel. Then we took a very long primary structure, folded it, made it into woolen ball, that is tertiary structure. Now what are we going to do for a quaternary structure? Let me draw the structure of a quaternary structure. Quaternary structure, there are so many structures of quaternary structure. This is the most advanced. Most advanced means most complicated structure. We are going to see one basic one, that is something like this. Again, more difficult to draw. One very big misconception that quaternary structure means only 4. 4 different structures. No, that is a very big misconception. But we draw only 4 because that is one of the simplest one to draw. Actually, quaternary structure can become so big that they might not even be possible to draw it on this board. So that is why we do not draw so many types of quaternary structure. We draw just some basic one. And this one I have taken an example of a hemoglobin. So we call the upper 2 as alpha and the middle 2 as beta. 2 alpha plus 2 beta, that is present inside a hemoglobin. One important thing is, it is not a function or characteristic of one polypeptide. As we can see, this is one polypeptide, another polypeptide, another polypeptide, another polypeptide. So more than one polypeptides, when they come close to each other, they form a very gigantic structure, and that is known as a quaternary structure. This is the highest or highly advanced protein structure. This is a very highly advanced protein structure. This protein structure can combine to form a hemoglobin. Molecules like hemoglobin also. So example, hemoglobin. They also have many different types of bonds. Exactly, this might be a hydrogen bonding, there might be ionic bonding, covalent bonding, van der Waals bonding, etc. And these are the very most important points of quaternary structure. So that is all for today's video. In today's video, we discussed about the structures of the proteins. And before going, one more important point, that the most abundant protein in the biosphere is collagen. Let me write that over there. That is all about the structures of protein. Then one more basic point which we have to remember about protein is that the most abundant protein in the biosphere is collagen. Most abundant protein in the biosphere is actually Rubisco. Sorry, that is not collagen, that is Rubisco. And the most abundant protein in animal world is collagen. What is Rubisco? Rubisco is ribulose bisphosphate carboxylase and oxygenase. That is Rubisco. This Rubisco is actually an enzyme which has two activities, carboxylase activities and oxygenase activity. This will be discussing in photosynthesis, where this Rubisco first gets carbon dioxide and then it binds with carbon dioxide and performs carboxylation and carboxylase activity, and then when there is oxygen abundant, then it binds with oxygen and does the oxygenase activity. So Rubisco is present inside the plant in large amount. That is why it is the most abundant protein in the biosphere. And then we have the most abundant protein in animal world, that is collagen. So I hope you have enjoyed this video. If you have enjoyed this video, do like this video, subscribe to this channel if you're new to this channel. See you next time in the next video. Thank you and good night.